You know, I were very excited when I saw who is our first person, our first restaurant here on stage. Because I can literally say it is one of the most innovative restaurants on the world and also here in Spain. It's not a restaurant based in Madrid, no, it's a restaurant based in Barcelona. It seriously stays for innovation, for crazy ideas, crazy concepts. And, you know, what should I say? I would seriously like to welcome here right now with me on stage as the representative of Oriol Castor, Mathieu Cassan. So please give him a warm applause to Eduard Xatruch and restaurant Disfrutar from Barcelona.
Thank you, George. Pleasure.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you here, and it's a pleasure to meet you finally. You know, I saw you a couple of times during the last couple of years because you also won an award of the Best Chefs Award a couple of years ago. So it's me personally, as a chef, an honor to finally meet you personally. And I would say right now, the stage is yours, your take over, and I'm going to relax a little bit in the backstage area.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, good morning to everybody. And thanks all of you that you get up early to see us. Here today with me is David Gil. David is a chef from Disfrutar from a lot of years, and he's in charge of creativity. And here, Disfrutar is a restaurant based in Barcelona. This year, we will make 8 years on December, but we are 3 chefs, Oriol Castro, Mateu Casañas, and me, that we have more than 25 years working in gastronomy. And during all our life, we say that our passion is to try to make creativity, okay? So now, first of all, we are in Madrid, this fantastic city. I want to thank you, Christian, and all the team of the Best Chef Awards, because they are making a very nice event here in Madrid. And now we will give to you a short video, and we will move to Barcelona. And for the people that doesn't know what is Disfrutar or cannot go there, so you can see a little bit in 1 minute and a half the feeling of Disfrutar, okay? So please, if we can put the video.
Teníamos claro que el concepto que queríamos hacer en el restaurante era un concepto moderno, diferencial, de vanguardia, pero con los pies en el suelo. Nosotros somos los 3 cocineros, siempre lo hemos sido, y lo que cuenta es el trabajo diario.
Nosotros somos 3 y somos amigos. Los unos nos apoyamos a los otros, unidos como una piña. Aprovechamos cada segundo para trabajar, avanzar, sea en la cocina o reunidos. Nos sentimos cómodos así y queremos que el equipo que nos acompaña se sienta igual.
La creatividad forma parte de nuestro día a día. La llevamos interiorizada, pero no es el único elemento, porque detrás hay un equipo fantástico que ejecuta y el cual el proyecto se debe.
Okay, as you can see in the video, Disfrutar it's not the classic fine dining restaurant, no, with luxury, no, tableware and the space. Disfrutar is a fair restaurant inspired in the Mediterranean, so all the architecture and the design is inspired in Mediterranean because we are 3 chefs that we are from the Mediterranean. Mateu is from Rosas, Uriol from Barcelona, and I'm from Tarragona. And we want always that our restaurants, no, transmits our personality, okay? So Disfrutar, people say that Disfrutar is a creative restaurant. So for us, the word of creativity, it's very serious, okay? And we start to make creativity at Disfrutar 2 years after to open the restaurant. So we start like a model restaurant, and little by little, with the strong team and the confidence of the team, we start to make creativity because for us, creativity is not just to make different dishes. For us, the level of creativity that we want to make is to make new techniques and concepts. Because we think that if we can make new techniques and concepts, we can make our own line of cuisine, and you can have your own line of food, no, in the restaurant. And what happened today that 2 years ago we have the COVID, no, and I think that the world in the industry changed a lot. For one thing, because nowadays people want to live emotions. So before COVID, I think that every people goes where they want. Every people can go to a restaurant, take a lunch, take a dinner. And after COVID, I think that these actions, no, go to the theater, go to see a football match, go to a restaurant, people expect something more. And when a person goes to a restaurant like Disfrutar, people, it's not just to eat and to enjoy with food. They want to have emotions, no? And that's why before COVID, when we reopened the restaurant after COVID, when the guest starts with the menu, we give to them a paper, okay? And now you can see the paper that we give to our guests. If it's possible to put the paper, please, on the screen. Okay, so here you can read 40 words, okay? And these words, we take all of our team and the 10 guests that comes more times to the restaurant. And we ask them what Disfrutar means to you, okay? And they put 40 words, and we select the words that appears more times in the list, okay? And you can read creativity, of course, friendship, technique, flavor, sensations, effort, contrast, tradition, team, values, emotion, share. So 40 words that define the cuisine of Disfrutar. And when the guests start the menu, this is just to say, okay, we hope that you can find something of our values in the experience that you will have today. And of course, for us, we are a creative restaurant, and in a professional way, we are looking for the creativity, but first of all, we are persons, and we look for the guests and for our team, because we call Disfrutar because we want to enjoy with the gastronomy, with the team, and with our guests, okay? Disfrutar, our way to look for these new techniques or concepts, no, always, most of the times, we work on the product, on the technique, or in the new tools, okay? So if we have a new machine, we can make a new technique. If we have a new product, we can make a new dish. But during COVID, we had a reflection process, okay? And we start to create with a word, okay? So, and during COVID, I think that all of us, we have a sensation of fear, okay? This uncertainty, we don't know what happened in the future, so this sensation of fear inspires us to create dishes. And nowadays, this is a line of creation that we are making at Disfrutar. For example, 2 weeks ago, we make a dish of the snow. So thinking about the snow, we make a dish. And thinking about the fear that we have with the COVID, we make a dish, okay? So now we will start and David will give to me a box, okay? And you will see, it's a box that we have this smoke, okay? And we serve to our guest. And we say, okay, you must close your eyes, put your hand inside, and take out the food that is inside to eat. So the sensation that you don't know what is inside, no, is the sensation that maybe can reproduce the sensation that we have with the COVID, okay? So the guest put the hand inside, no? You have a strange sensation, no? But you take something that is hot, it's nice, but you feel that it's alive, no? And what people take out from this box is this really nice red prawn. And why we put a red prawn, just boil it in the box? Because all people tell that Disfrutar is a very creative restaurant, okay, and we look for new techniques and concepts, and of course, no, that we look for that. But we think that you don't need strange things to get the emotion, okay? You can have the emotion with just one really nice product. You can have the emotion with one really nice feeling, okay? And this is a demonstration that in our cuisine, we can use very sophisticated techniques, but we can use the emotion to have this sensation of surprise and a new idea. In this case, we serve this red prawn that is just boiled in seawater, and we serve this spoon that here we have a juice of chicken a la catalana with prawns. So this is a traditional stuffed chicken with red prawns that in Catalonia we call mar i muntanya, so mountain and sea, because it's very traditional in Catalonia, in Spain, and in a lot of countries, no, to make these dishes, no, putting together elements from the sea and from the mountain. So, and we are chefs that we love tradition. And there are a lot of times, no, and during the session of today you will see that when we make a new technique, we try to present in the flavors of the tradition, because people enjoy more, okay? So if you put a new technique or a new concept with a strange flavors, people maybe it's a little bit confused. But if you put the flavor of the tradition and you feel that this flavor is really good, because first of all, we make new things if they are good. If it's not good, we don't serve it at all, because we think that new techniques and concepts must serve to kitchen to cook well, okay? So if it's not good, if it's not pleasant, we don't serve. Okay, now we are going to present today, we select 4 of the techniques that we create at Disfrutar during these years. We have just half an hour, so we cannot make all, but I think that you will see, no, what means creativity for us, no, through these 4 techniques. So now we are going to see a video, and I want to explain how to make a very, very, very light puff pastry, okay? So if we can put the first video, please. We call hojaldre sin harina. Hojaldre is puff pastry in Spanish. And how we make that? We use inulin. Inulin is a fiber from chicory, okay, that normally is used in pastry to make sorbets and ice creams. And we will use inulin, fresh cream, and ovulato. Okay, ovulato is the potato starch in the sheet of a paper that you will see now. So what we do is a mix of fresh cream and inulin. We mix all together. And we will heat a little bit to dissolve well the inulin in the fresh cream. We blend with a mixer, and we heat at 70 degrees, okay? After we pass through a colander and we keep in the fridge during 4 hours, more or less. And after that 4 hours in the fridge, we have a texture of butter, you know? So it has texture, and for example, at the restaurant, we make butter of corn, and we don't use at all any butter or any lactic ingredient, okay? So now we are going to make our puff pastry, and we will use this mix of inulin and fresh cream and pieces in a rectangular shape of obulato. Okay, obulato, you know that it's this paper originally from Japan that is made with potato starch, okay? And we will make different layers between obulato and this mix of inulin, okay? And we will repeat this process during 8 times, but we can make 10, 12, so whatever you want. So if we put a lot of different pieces, so we make a most big structure, okay? And after we cook in the oven like a traditional puff pastry, okay? 180 degrees. And little by little, no, when it's cooked, the air that is inside between these different layers of obulato and inulin cook. The sugar of the fresh cream, no, makes this nice brown color, and you have a very, very light texture with all the taste of the best puff pastry, okay? But with two differences, that here we don't use any flour, we don't use any butter, and it's very, very light, okay? After we can use in a lot of ways, so in this case we have the inspiration about the tradition, because here in Spain, when we were little, it was traditional to eat in the breakfast this puff pastry with ham and sobrasada, okay? So here what we do is to put a little bit of Iberico ham oil and sobrasada oil on the top of this puff pastry that we cut in little pieces, okay? And on the top we put a little bit of Iberico ham confit and sobrasada, okay? So it's a bite that is very, very light, but you have all the flavor of this Iberico ham and the sobrasada, okay? So in this case in the video, we make a rectangular shape, okay? But for us, what means a technique? A technique doesn't mean to make a new dish. A technique means that you can make 100,000 of different dishes with this technique, okay? It's like to make an omelette, and you can make millions of different omelettes. So in this case, imagine, no, what can we do with a puff pastry? So in the salty world, for desserts, okay? In dishes, like a starter, whatever you want. And here we will make today 2 different examples. So while we were explaining the video, David makes here a pizza, okay? But it's a different pizza. So here we put this puff pastry, a little bit of creamy cheese on the top, truffle, and oil of black truffle, okay? So this is very, very arid, but you have all the flavor of this creamy cheese and black truffle. So this is an example. And what I mean about this arid texture, so here we have a big piece, okay, of this elaboration. And imagine, this is very big, but if I broke, it's nothing. It's very crunchy, it's nice in texture, it's nice in flavor, but it's very, very arid. And why we are always looking for this sensation of lightness, okay? So it's because at Disfrutar, we believe that if you have nice things to show to guests, people want to eat a lot. So we don't think that large menus are diet. We think that if you have things interesting to give to your guests, are more alive than ever, okay? But must be interesting things, okay? And we are always looking for these light textures because we want to give a lot of flavor, but we don't want that when you finish the menu, you feel bad and you feel so full. So it's for that that sometimes we look for these light textures because we want to give a lot of flavor, but not with the sensation that you are full, okay? And another example is this, no? So here, one moment. Here we make this shape with this puff pastry, okay? And now we are going to make a tortell. In Catalonia, it's on Sunday. On Sundays, it's very traditional to eat a tortell, okay? It's a puff pastry with chantilly. It's very nice, okay? So, and here what we do, all of you knows what is a siphon. So this technique, the spuma, is 30 years old. So it's not new at all, but for us it's magic, no? Because you can have all the flavor with this light texture. And David now is putting on this puff pastry chantilly, making siphon, and this we make in front of the guest, okay? This dish we make 5 years ago. So after that, we put another disc of this puff pastry, okay? And instead of sugar, we will use maltodextrin, okay, of tapioca. So because we put a little bit of sugar in the chantilly, and we don't want that the dessert will be so sweet, okay? And here, here you have an example that with a new technique or with a new concept, we can get the inspiration of the tradition and make things that are interesting, okay? Because in this case, when you finish the menu, I'm sure that all of you love, no, this puff pastry with a very good chantilly, but it's not very light. And in this case, it's too light, but you have all the flavor, okay? So now, after that, we are going for another technique. And if you can put the next video, please. So we will look for the multi-spherification. This is a variant of the spherification that it was created in 2003, and this variation we make in 2017, okay? And what we'll do, so here we have a sauce pesto that we add some gluconolactate, calcic, and after we have this vat that is alginate with water, okay? So we make the little spheres, and we take out from the alginate, and instead of put these balls in water to clean the alginate, that is what we do in the traditional spherification, we don't clean the balls, and we work with the alginate like a gelatin, okay? And what we have, so when we make the spherification and we put all the balls with the alginate all together, what we do is a gelatin. And the result that we have is like a liquid aspic, okay? So after 5 minutes, more or that, all these balls are all together with a very light gelatin, okay? And after, in this case, this pesto that for us in the concept is that we have the sauce and we make the pasta of the sauce all together. So what we do is to take out this line of little sphericals of pesto and we'll put it on the dish. And after, we put around this pesto multispheric, we put a smoked dill, fresh pistachio, pine nuts, roasted pine nuts, a little bit of pistachio oil. Now that is a cream of Parmesan cheese. We add some fat of the panceta, Iberica panceta, some slices of panceta too, and we finish with fresh basil and fresh pepper, okay? So with this technique, in this case, we make this pesto. That is the concept that you have with the sauce. You make a pasta because when you eat, you have this texture of pasta with the pesto. But we can make a lot of different things. Okay. In this case, we have in the video that we show, you see different lines. Okay. But these little balls that we can make little or big, we can put in different molds. Okay? In this case, we have a rectangular mold. Okay? And these balls are made from corn. Okay? And we will make a traditional dish, a snack, that is the first dish that we make with this technique, that is a tatin. Okay? So to make that tatin, we will use foie gras, okay, that now David has it. And here, and here we have this, that is a caramel, very, very thin, as you can see, that we make with corn and obulato. So we make a caramel with corn, we make a powder, and we put on the obulato, okay? We put in the oven and we make this rectangular shape. We put some pepper. This is a reduction of Pedro Jiménez. And on the top, we will put this multi-esférico of mice, okay? And what I told you, no, is that when we eat that, you must to imagine that all time that you make one bit, you have one explosion in your mouth, as you see. So it's an aspect that it's liquid, okay? And give us a very nice sensation in mouth. I always say that it's similar than, no, if this was edible to eat, that it's not, but no, the sensation that we have, no, when we were a child, no, and we are making that. So this is a little bit the sensation that you have in your mouth. Okay, so in this case, we have this tatin, and by the other side, we are going to make another dish. In this case, we get the inspiration in the tradition another time. So here, what we have? We have this shape that in this case we make a circle, okay? And this is a cream of pea. Okay, so in Catalonia we have a traditional dish that is pea stuffed with a skit. Okay, so in this case what we do is to make this multispherical of green pea. We put the sauce of the pea and squid in the center, and now David is putting a little bit of vino rancio, so like an oporto in reduction, some anise. I will put a little bit of mint oil, and we will finish with baby squids, just sauté, okay? And we will add on the top a little bit of caviar, of virgin olive oil. Caviar of virgin olive oil and fresh mint, okay? So this is what for us means to make new techniques, okay? So we can make the pesto, we can make a snack like the tatin, or we can make this dish inspired in the tradition that it's these baby squids with green peas, okay? And as you see, for us, no, the flavor, so we make traditional sauces, okay, with flavor, and after we put all together the tradition and the new technique. And the result, because if we make that with a strange flavor, so people say, what's that? This is very strange. But when you see, no, this is a version of the traditional squids with peas, people, when eat, have the reference of flavor and say, okay, you use a new technique, but in a good way, because when they eat that, they say they are really, really nice, this sauce, okay? So if you eat that and you say that it's not good, it doesn't work, okay? So we are going for another one, another new technique that we created 2 years ago, and for us, it's very nice for us and for people that visit our restaurant. So if we can put the next video, please. Okay, we call solid bubbles of fat, okay? In this case, we will make solid bubbles of butter. So what we use clarified butter, lecithin of soya, and an element if you want to give taste. In this case, we use codium seaweed, okay? So what we do, we take the machine to make the conchage of the chocolate, and we put all together the butter, lecithin of soy, and the flavor if you want to add a flavor, okay? In this case, seaweed. And we heat at 30 degrees more or less, because we need that the butter is fluid, okay? And when this butter is fluid, we use a machine that is to put in the fish place where fish are living, okay? To put the oxygen, and we can add the air in a very short way, okay? So we can make these bubbles that when we put on the freezer, we block the bubbles, and after we can use in a lot of different ways and shapes, okay? So we take these bubbles and we put in different molds, and we can make a lot of different applications. And we can make with different elements. In this case, for example, a fruit. This is raspberry, or those are mushrooms. So we can make this technique with all fats. So we can make with virgin olive oil, with sunflower oil, with butter, okay? And with all the flavors. And we can use in salty dishes and in desserts, okay? So now, what we'll do, we will do a very nice dish that it's inspired another time in the tradition, but it's not strange at all. So I think that all people loves to go to a restaurant, and when you have a nice butter and a nice bread, no, start the meal and eat the butter and the bread. But what happened that if the butter is very good and the bread is very good, at the beginning of the menu, you are full. No? At least me, if the butter is very good and the bread is good, I eat all, okay? So after we can have problems. But here we get the inspiration, no, about this bread and butter that always love. And we will make a snack that is very nice. So here what we have is just a toast, okay? Crunchy toast. And in this case, we make fresh butter with a little bit of smoke, okay? And what we do is to put caviar on the top of this toast. Ya sabe. David is, today we put a lot of caviar. But it's important. So if we use caviar, we put caviar. So because caviar is good if you eat a lot. So, but in this case, okay. So here what we have, a toast with butter and caviar. Imagine if this quantity of butter, it were real, no? So maybe it's too much, no, to start a menu. So here, what we do, we put this bread, we put the butter, we put the caviar, and we put the caviar, not put the caviar because it's a luxury product, no, because the balance with the oilness of the butter, the little bit of a smoke, and the oilness of the caviar and this salted touch of the caviar, it's magic. So with this, I think that, no, it's a very nice flavor. And here, you can imagine, no, the lightness of this dish. Fica-n'hi una altra. Fica aquesta també. Tens? Tens l'espàtula, no? Treu-me aquest. Treu una miqueta més i ja està. So imagine if all of that was butter, okay? As you can see, here we don't have more than 1 spoon, okay? And the sensation that you have when you eat this, it's magic. But for us, the most important thing is that if you use very good butter, the texture that you have when you eat a fat, that it's what all persons say, oh, it's tasty because you have this oilness, it's the same. But in this case, it's very, very light than a traditional butter, okay? And to finish our presentation, we are going for the last technique that I think that maybe nowadays is one of the techniques that other chefs are applying more, no, in the restaurants, and we are very so happy to that, okay? So we are going for the last video. And this technique we call pancino, okay? Nowadays, maybe if we must put the name of the technique, we can put filet brioche or something like that, but for commercial thing, we are not very good. And when we make this technique, when we see the result, we say, oh, it's like a Chinese bread, okay? And it's for that we call pancino. So what we do, we take flour, some sugar and salt, and we mix all together. And after, we take egg. In this case, we use pasteurized egg because always when we make recipes that we don't want that the flavor of the egg, and when we make recipes that are very exactly, we use pasteurized egg for 2 questions, because always the fat is the same, and for the sugar of the recipe. So we put all together, we blend, and we put in a siphon, okay? We put the gas inside. And we make a spuma, a foam. By the other side, we are making a filling. In this case, we take caviar and fresh cream. This fresh cream we make with the Oco, that is a machine that we start to use 6 years ago, and we make a lot of different techniques. But here what we do, we take this iron cassoulet and we put inside of the very, very hot virgin olive oil. We put the filling and we fry, okay? And this is real time of the film because it's just 20 seconds, and the result that we have, it's really amazing, okay? So imagine the best brioche, okay? But outside is a little bit crunchy, and inside is very, very creamy. And you can imagine the sensation when you eat that, okay? And why it's important that? Because if you think to a Chinese bread or a brioche, it's impossible to fill with a fresh element like caviar, okay? So with this technique, we can make this texture that it's so nice, and we put inside fresh tuna, urchins, we can put an ice cream, a cream, whatever you want. So for us, this is the meaning of the creativity at Disfrutar. So we try to make new techniques, new concepts, but always thinking that it must be pleasant, it must be tasty, and you must to enjoy eating at our restaurant. So I hope that you enjoy with the presentation. I want to say thank you to David, that at the end, with our team, it's possible to make what we love, that is this creativity, but always thinking, first of all, in the persons, okay? So thank you so much, and enjoy these days in Madrid. Pleasure.
Eduard, what should I say? You left me speechless behind, and now I'm actually starving. Thank you very much.
No, a pleasure. A pleasure.
Thank you very much. I think Restaurant Disfrutar, Eduard, and his assistant, were an unbelievable good example what actually avant-garde means, what avant-garde is all about, and how chefs are working hand in hand with science, and how our brain, our limbic systems actually connects the dots in between. Again, thank you very much. It was a seriously pleasure to have you here. Great to see, and hopefully we will all have at some point in our life the possibility to meet you live in your restaurant and try what you just showed us. Thank you much.
Pleasure.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Eduard.
Thank you.
Warm applause again.